Hi, everyone. I'm Debbie Schwartz of Road to College and the Paying for College 101 group. We're here tonight to talk about financial aid and give everybody an overview. I'm joined today by Kat Del Grosso of College Ave Student Loans. Kat, thanks for being here today.
Oh, absolutely. Good to see you, Debbie.
How about we begin with some common financial aid acronyms? Can you tell us what they are?
Sounds good. There are, I guess, sort of a top five I might mention. COA means this is the cost of attendance, which would basically be like your sticker price of all things within the cost of attending college. The FAFSA, FAFSA, is the free application for federal student aid, which is the application that every family has to file if they're looking to receive any kind of federal financial aid or beyond. The third acronym would be FSA, or Federal Student Aid, and that's essentially the entity within the Department of Education that administers the FAFSA. The fourth would be SAI, or Student Aid Index, and that was formerly known as the EFC, or Expected Family Contribution. That is essentially a number that gets calculated and helps provides basically the financial aid office a number to work from in terms of how much the family can afford to pay and how much your federal aid would be. PJ stands for professional judgment, which is essentially if the family needs to appeal for any financial aid, where maybe you have a job loss and you want special circumstances to be considered, the financial aid administrator would perform what's called professional judgment and hopefully be able to give you some additional financial aid eligibility.
Okay, let's look a little bit more closely at cost of attendance, sometimes called COA or sticker price. What exactly is included?
Okay, so there's basically five main categories that are part of the COA. And those are dictated by the Department of Education. So every college has to use these five major components when they're determining how much financial aid you're eligible for. The first would be essentially often the largest, which is tuition and fees. The second would be sometimes also the largest, or it's up there in the top two, food and housing. So you basically need to be able to eat and sleep while you're at college, and that is a category that must be included. The third category is in reference to books, any kind of course materials, supplies, or equipment. The fourth category is called personal expenses, and that essentially is what you might consider that to be, like, buying toothpaste and things like that, your personal expenses that need to occur while you're at school. And then fifth and final category is transportation. They're going to use an average transportation cost in the total.
It's important to know the different types of financial aid. Can you tell us what they are and how they differ?
So let me explain those. The grants are typically need-based. So when you apply for financial aid, if the family has calculated need, then grants would typically be available to families in that category. Scholarships are based on merit or academic or talent of some sort. So both of those first two categories are free money. So they're great because you don't have to pay them back. Work basically is working on campus either through need-based funding or maybe not need-based. And then lastly would be loans. And those are basically either student loans or parent loans. And those do need to be paid back. So that they're available to families as well.
After a student has applied for financial aid, what can they expect?
That's a great question. So they will receive an award notification. It'll either be electronic or paper or both. And basically the award notification will show them their cost of attendance minus any financial aid that they have. Just make a clear note as to whether it's broken out by semester or academic term versus a full year, because what the family would want to do next is to review what we call the gap. And that would be how much is the family going to need to afford after all the financial aid for that academic year. And then you want to make a consideration of, this is a multi-year decision for the financial commitment, not just that 1 year. So you want to kind of look at it in terms of 1 year on the award letter, and then multiply that out by multiple years to think, okay, what is this going to cost us over time?
Kat, thanks for all this great information, and thanks College Ave for helping us support and educate families on these important topics.
Absolutely. Thanks, Debbie.